right, Coach. Under hazy, overcast L.A. skies, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Today, it's a matchup in the AFC West between the Denver Broncos and our home team. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Let's go. 60 yards. You're out. Let's go.
This is Joe Mixon, fourth in the NFL in rushing last season. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage. Stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, setting the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
Now a dump off here complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 15 yards on that one and a Charger first down.
Ready up.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Check 99. Check 99. Leo.
Throwing on first down. Herbert. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Switch it. General West. Rock it. Hey, Zoo. Get it.
From the gun to give to Mixon. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Now a pass here caught by Hunter Henry. And he's got this down to the 35. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down. Well, last year, Henry really looked poised for a prime breakout season, but then May 22nd, tore his ACL during OTAs, ruled out for the year. Actually was added to the active roster in a pretty heroic return for their playoff clash with New England, but did not play. 29 career games for Henry, 12 touchdowns, and now with Antonio Gates' career coming to a close, they expect a lot out of the 24-year-old Hunter Henry. Looking to throw on second down. Herbert, and this one complete to Reed. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far in the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's fourth down. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on fourth. On fourth down, Herbert, and this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first.
Hard.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
To throw on 2nd down. Herbert. It's Williams on the catch. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. Pretty solid start for the rookie here on this first drive, Charles.
Able to have some confidence, stepping back into the pocket, move around a little bit, find open receivers, and deliver. That just means his confidence is going to continue to grow because he's getting more and more comfortable with each completed pass.
And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Joe Mixon, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Chargers take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Badgley now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run blocking abilities. And we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big game.
That's kind of nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Fame.
And that's going to be intercepted. It's the all-pro safety, Derwin James. And this is going to be a Charger touchdown. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. We thought this defense would be opportunistic, and they were. Here, you're already up. Now you got a 2-touchdown lead. I tell you, going out there on defense, did they have a little bit of extra momentum with a score already on the board?
Oh, without a doubt. That already felt good to them, and they took it and used it and obviously put up another one. But here's the thing now. Some defense coordinators might want to pull their guys back a little bit because they don't want them to make mistakes because they're too overamped. Others say, I've got a 2-touchdown lead. Go get them, guys. They'll be even more aggressive.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead.
They're not ready for this. 11.
Another try after the first down sack. Luck. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Here's King. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Chargers will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Charger drive about to get going. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. Here's 2nd and 8. For Keenan Allen, that's complete. And they'll get him down right at around the 11-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he'll have the 1st down as he's up to about the 18. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. The sack there by Bradley Chubb.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks. Great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Leo.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. He's got a 1st down past the 30. He's at the 50, the 30, the 20, 10, and all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Joe Mixon, 85 yards. The Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it's now 21-0. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st down, Locke. He completes this to Sutton. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A very solid gain of 27. Now it's Locke.
As far as I'm concerned, Andrew Luck can do it all. I mean, he's an underrated runner, toughness in the pocket, strong and stout. But let's face it, the money, that comes from his arm.
And smart, valedictorian of his high school class in Houston. Then he goes to Stanford. He's got it all. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1.
Check, 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 check. He's checking, he's checking, he's checking. Crash, crash.
Luck looks to throw on 3rd and 1. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Now a timeout coming here defensively. As on 4th down, may as well make them punt it. So on 4th down, on comes Brandon McManus and the field goal unit for the Broncos. This from 54 yards away. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
The Charger drive about to get going. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
And he is not going to get away. The rush was too strong, and this is going to wind up a safety. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Give them 14 yards there and a Denver first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. They'll go again with Lindsey. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. Well, we talked about Phillip Lindsay so much last year, but it bears repeating. Undrafted in 2018, the Broncos would sign him in May, and that was a good decision. He would have a 1,000-yard season, 9 touchdowns en route to a Pro Bowl appearance. So from undrafted to playing in the Pro Bowl in 10 months, that's pretty clean living for Phillip Lindsay. Back to throw, Love. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Again, it's Mixon. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. The Chargers, a team that's really been plagued by poor field goal kicking the last decade or so, but I think they feel they've solved their problems with Badgler.
I would say so. He went 15 for 16 in 10 games last season, undrafted out of Miami. And remember, he had 5 field goals in the playoffs against the Baltimore Ravens.
And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
That one good for 20 on the catch and run. To throw his left. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And Luck will be intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked off around the 37. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. It's Charger football, and they've got the lead as well as we begin the 4th quarter.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship.
Topper! Topper! Stand! Stand!
Check.
Gone! Gone!
Wide. Get wide.
On 1st down, Herbert. He's airing it out for Williams. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Mike Williams, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Herbert. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 22-yard line. On 1st down, Mixon. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. The Chargers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Off the play fake. Herbert. And this is complete. It's Allen. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll give it to Mixon. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Here's a 2nd and 7. Got a man. It's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, his 6th touchdown of the season. The Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is it bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
First and 10. They're on 17-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 22 yards there, a 1st down. Luck now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Off of play action. Luck. Pass incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So now it's 3rd and long, because remember, they also lose a down on the grounding call.
I'm going to run you over.
Quo.
Guys, Mike, 40.
Hey, check.
From the gun, here's Lott. Buying time to his left. Now he'll let it go on the... And this will be caught at the 30. And he'll be taken down deep into Charger territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Smoke.
Luck throwing again. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Partner's been my experience that after 2 stops like that near the goal line, defenses only become bolder. They don't back off at all. I think they continue to bring pressure and force them to make a really big play against them.
And the incompletion, then the run for no gain. Let's see now. Now Luck on 3rd and goal. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And McManus able to put it through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The Chargers take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Let's go!
The Charger drive about to get going. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give them 7 there on the first down carry. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Joe Mixon, and he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 7 yards there and a first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Right there. 54. Right there. Right there.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And it's a defensive return for a late touchdown. So they still need somewhat of a miracle here, but at least that gets them a little bit closer. Yeah, so hold the phone here, Charles. I'd kind of written them off, but after that touchdown, certainly a long way still to go, but stranger things have happened.
Well, when you're going to have big second-half comebacks, plays like that have to be involved.
And he's going to get into the end zone for 2, and they're back within 2 scores, down 15 now. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Chargers take over first and 10.
The Charger drive about to get going. And still 2 timeouts defensively, but even if they choose to use those, 3 kneel downs should be enough to get out of here with a victory.
And that's exactly what's been.
And got his man complete. A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They'll run with Mixon. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead, 1st down, 4th quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back. But 8 yards on 1st down puts them back on their heels.
Well, partner, even though my phone alarm failed me this morning and I missed our AM workout, we still made it through this thing together, didn't we?
Well, you always know I need extra workouts just to keep up with you. So it doesn't matter. But thanks for sharing a boot, and thanks for being our quarterback.
Yeah, you're the quarterback. Always a pleasure, my friend. So for the home team here, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1. So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From Southern California, so long, everybody.